My encounter with a spirit entity today. Right? So, of course, I don't like these type of encounters, and they are very few and far between. And don't like to delve into it. But when something like this happens, I like to, discuss it to free myself, from keeping it inside me in one way. And of course, many people will be skeptical and not believe what I'm saying, and consider it part of my imagination and so forth. So I just going to be discussing it, and give it plainly as I experienced it, and you make of it as you wish, right? So I just placing it on record, so to speak. So those of you who like the contents of my videos, please don't forget to press like and subscribe if you haven't already. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And if you could drop a comment, I would love to hear from you. And a major super duper favor is if you could share this video with your favorite social media channels. For those of you who don't know me, I am Osman, hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art for almost 50 years and teaching it now for 46 years. In this period, I've studied under many great masters from different cultures, different schools of thought across the globe, from the Far East, the Middle East, the West, including the scientific communities. And basically, I've created my own unique protocols, making things much faster, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented, gearing it more towards the 21st century. And to that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. And my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting yogawellness786.com. And please remember, my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, coming back to this encounter, I have recounted my previous two other, clear, distinct encounters, in past videos. You may, search for them, but this is a fresh one. It happened this morning. So, what actually happened is when I go into the theta state of mind, and to go into the theta state, everyone goes into it on a daily basis. So, especially when you're waking up in the morning. So, you normally go just before falling asleep. When you're feeling so sleepy, you're like almost falling asleep, but you're still halfway between dream and sleepfulness. This is the theta state. But it's more noticeable and more prevalent and more dominant when you're waking up, because when you just wake up, your alarm rings, you just don't want to get out of bed and you're feeling all groggy. That grogginess feeling when you're in that state is the theta state. The theta state is you're connected to the spirit world, right? So the barrier between you and the spirit world becomes very thin. So you can, once you harness and awaken your spirituality, you would start noticing the theta state. You'll be able to identify in your normal wakeful state, right? You'll be able to slip into that state, at will. It normally takes me 2 to 5 seconds to go into theta at any given time, right? Especially when I'm meditating. I use the assistance of Dhyan Mudra, right? Holding my index finger, touching the thumb, and it takes me into theta in 2 to 5 seconds. Instantly, I can feel that buzz, right? So now, but this was when I was just waking up. I just opened my eyes because I'm trying to get my 7 to 9 hours sleep, which I'm not very successful at, most of the time. But I tried my best to try to get this amount of sleep, and I getting up all the time and keep checking my phone. What's the time? And I know I still got another 45 minutes or an hour left to sleep, and I get so excited, when I still have more time to sleep. And I was in this state and waiting for the wake up time to come, and between sleep and wakefulness, and I clearly heard my name, like someone came to wake me up. It was a male voice, and it mentioned my name so sweetly and so nicely, like just mentioned my name, and I said, yeah, like like someone's waking me up or calling me, right? Like calling me. I say yes. Then I realized, no, there's no male, there's no other people, in my home. I'm alone. And what's this male? There's no person here, and it's a male voice. I said this must because I'm used to the spirit world and all this. I know this is from the spirit world. The uncanny thing is, it sounded like my late brother's voice, identical, right? So, but he would not call me by my name like that. He'll always call me in a respectful manner because I was his elder brother, and he passed away at a young age of 39. And I, I remember that I used to have, dreams about him, vivid dreams, that he was like not really, settled and not crossed over, into the world where the dead people go, still in, between worlds, right? Still in this world, lingering, without a body. And I remember I carried out some protocols and took him across and took him to a place that he would feel comfortable, and there's other people, in part of the other world, and I left him there. And when I heard the voice again, I was wondering how come it wouldn't be him, but the voice was unmistakable, and I only just the name, right? And could it be an imagination? No, it could not be. Of course, if people are going to say, of course, I mean, prove it empirically, it was not imagination. So I'm living with myself, I'm dealing with this thing, and I'm not coming across this on a daily basis, right? The last time I heard voices was when I had clear audience, and I blocked that off, I think about 25 years ago, almost 25, 20 to 25 years ago. I closed it off. It only lasted for a few days, and I closed it up because I didn't want that. I didn't want to be listening to, hearing voices of people or entities that are not visible to, regular people around, to humans, right? I didn't want all that. I wanted to live a no. I had young children. I was married at that time, and I had a business to run. And I wanted to be. I didn't want to go crazy, right, or considered crazy, and so forth. So that was the last time, over 25 years ago, and so I know what I'm listening to. It's not like every day, I'm hearing this, and I had to analyze. So probably because he's crossed over, he doesn't feel the same relationship, with the humans or with me, or, doesn't see me as his sibling anymore, because sibling is only the body relationship, right? Not the spirit relationship. The spirit is eternal. So that ended with the body, right? When he passed away. So I was trying to analyze this, and I'm just discussing it to clear my mind as well. I have spoken to a close friend of mine as well, but it's better, me discuss it here because this is an actual incident, right? Of what is possible. So, so clearly, when he passed away, all the due rites, funeral rites, were carried out, right? And the religious ceremonies and so forth, so that it can't be said that there wasn't proper, funeral rites carried, that he couldn't cross over. So, and recently, about 3 months, 2 or 3 months ago, I remember, having this vivid dream because I came to the location where he passed, right? And felt his energy, And then when I saw it in a dream, I took him and I left him. And then to hear his voice this morning, I was puzzled. And it shows that sometimes people, is it that he's unable to cross? Definitely, there was many opportunities, and I physically took him over, right? So means he doesn't want to cross over. He wants to remain because he died at a young age, age of 39, right? And of course, it not necessarily his voice, right? It could be someone that sounds like him, but it was around his age group, you know, and how he passed away. And I mean, a person's voice, right? He was a sibling. So I like to make assumptions based on the principles used by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. In his series, if you don't know, he wrote the Sherlock Holmes series of fiction, and he's a Oxford University alumni, and he was a professor of criminology, I believe, and had an amazing mind, and was very frequently called upon by Scotland Yard to help them solve cases that couldn't be solved. So I used that, and said, hey, he's, because he didn't want to leave and he wants to stay, and there's things that he wants to still accomplish, and he want to achieve certain things and so forth, because he loved practicing um, the spiritual arts, right? And he used to help a lot of people and so forth, in that line, especially with mantra and helping people to get, find ease, improve their relationships, improve their job chances, just to help, the poor people and all that, right? He was very philanthropic type of person, very helpful. And for some reason or the other, then I'm Muslim yogi. So the good thing of being Muslim is we've got a whole book. The entire Quran is like a book of magic. Every word has got magical power with it, right? So I learned, a lot of benefits of certain aspects of the Quran, and especially with doing exorcisms and so forth. I have something very powerful that I learned, and it worked so amazing from day one when I tried it. When I thought I didn't even have any power of this, as soon as I learned it, I just tried it out. It worked like magic, right? So I recited it, and another chapter of the Quran that helps to transition people, into um, people who've passed on, so that they get peace wherever they are. If they are unsettled, they find peace. So, but I did it with the intent, because these things works with intention, right? I did it with the intention to have him forcefully cross over, right? If that's possible. And usually, if I think of it that way, these things are very powerful. It's not me that's power. The predetermined words, the incantations that are there, in the Quran itself that I use, is very, very powerful. And I'm like pretty confident so far in my life. Now, I'm doing this for, I think, 49 years, and it always worked, right? And just to let you guys know, there are not only those that have difficulty in crossing over, there are some that don't want to cross over, right? And we have to make them cross over, because they don't. It's how good can it be, for them to be in a place they don't belong here, right? They belong in another place. It's time to move on, and don't be stuck in a life that's finished. And it's the first time I did something like that, where I'm forcefully, uh, turning someone over, and sometimes there's bitterness, in them, because I sense like it was a very calm voice, right? Like a very settled voice, but like some type of sarcasm, right? Like a bitterness behind it, probably because they don't have a body, right? And so forth. So, this is the puzzling, and I don't want to overthink it. All I know is this is what is the problem I experience, what's the solution, and don't worry about analyzing it, because I'm going to go crazy throughout my life, because there's so many possibilities, right? That could be the thing, not to think about it. Focus on the what to do, what's the solution, and I focused on it and I applied it, right? And so that's the story of this encounters of the other kind, that I had freshly today, and giving it to you freshly. I had just the whole day to think about it, and probably I would have other perspectives on it or deeper perspectives on it, but these are just going to be speculations, right? Whatever perspectives I have, right? Bottom line, I was sure I heard the voice. I suspect who it is. 100% it sounded exactly. But another thing, this brings up, when you hear voices from the spirit world, sometimes it is mischievous spirits that know they can read into your soul and read into your memories and know your past and people from your past and mimic their voices. It can, because everything is recorded inside us, they can take a capture them and mimic those voices and fool you to think that they are the loved one that you lost and that you are able to speak to them. You know, this likelihood is very high, 99%. Is a likelihood of something like that happening. So many people, they go to clairvoyance and so forth and want to speak to their loved ones, and the clairvoyant is giving information that only your loved one could know. But there are spirit entities can read your past, and whisper this into the clairvoyant's ear and just fool you. For the financial benefit, there must be some financial transaction or financial benefit to someone, right? To the clairvoyant or something, right? So maybe the clairvoyant is doing it in all honesty and sincerity, but the spirit world, they are very conniving people, right? You cannot trust them. Don't engage in a conversation. Don't try to communicate. Don't do nothing, because you cannot be as clever as them. They are very intelligent. If our maximum IQ is around 150, and their IQ is like 1,500 or 1.5 million, we are nothing to them, right? You can't, it's really out of your league and not possible to be in their league, right? And so a warning also that goes with it. So hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.